Good morning. Welcome to Reading the Sides of Mind in 1 Year. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader, Center for Spiritual Living and Common Ground in Central Maryland. Today is July 9th. And so let's get started with our reading. Reading for July 9th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 290, paragraph 2, through page 291, paragraph 2, using inclusive language. Perfect action, no mistakes. In mental work, we must realize that there is one infinite mind, which is consciously directing our destiny. Declare every day that no mistakes have been made, none are being made, and none can be made. Declare there is one supreme intelligence which governs, guides, and guards, tells us what to do, when to act, and how to act. Having done this in perfect faith, act with perfect assurance. Declare further everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. Know this, see it, feel it, and be it. Do this every day for a few minutes. We should all do this until the time has come when it is no longer necessary. When that time comes, we will know it because our demonstrations will have been made. Suppose someone says, I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. I had opportunities I did not grasp. Every person has this feeling at some time in their life. This is a direct belief that there is but one opportunity which comes to people, and if they do not take it, they will have no more. This is a belief in limited opportunities, and it must be denied completely and specifically. It is not that we have made no mistakes, but if the belief in the necessity of mistakes stays in the consciousness, then there is bound to be a repetition. It is scientific practice to declare that there have been no mistakes in a person's consciousness, that if there have been, they are now wiped out. There are none in the divine plan, and there is no plan for people other than the divine plan. If a person has had and apparently lost many opportunities, they must be shown that they stand at the point of limitless opportunity, that opportunity is right here today, that they see and grasp it. It recognizes them as they recognize it. We exist in limitless opportunities, which are forever seeking expression through us. Know that there is no condemnation, for nothing can condemn unless we believe in condemnation. Destroy the thought that would place limitation or bondage upon any situation or condition. Loose them and let them go. Talk to yourself, not to the world. There is no one to talk to but yourself, for all experience takes place within. Conditions are the reflections of our meditations and nothing else. There is but one mind. That mind is our mind now. It never thinks confusion, knows what it wishes, and how to accomplish what it desires. It is what it desires. Okay. So, pretty much straightforward. And sometimes I want to argue with Ernest Holmes. And not so much argue against what he wrote, but to ask him to write it in a different way. Um, like when he uses the term divine plan, I just want to say, do you realize that sets us up seeking for what that plan is. So maybe don't use that language, right? Um, it dovetails oftentimes with um, a God outside of ourselves that's running the show that has some secret plan that we need to figure out. And I know Ernest Holmes didn't believe that. And I know that he sometimes slipped into the normal use of human language like all of us. Um, I think he clears it up, but not directly in the very last sentence there that we read. Um, the last two sentences, anyway. It wishes, knows what it wishes and how to accomplish what it desires. It is what it desires. And I think the only plan that God, creation, whatever we call it, has is to express. Um, and I love the point he makes about this limited idea that we have been taught to hold that, you know, in so many phrases, I missed that opportunity, that ship's already sailed, my boat came in and I wasn't at the dock. You know, um, does it mean we haven't chosen to let opportunities go by? Oh, of course we have. We've been presented with multiple things at once and we've made choices. Um, and what if none of those choices, regardless of how they played out, have ever been a mistake? Um, I had the opportunity to befriend, um, his name is slipping out of my head at the moment, the author of Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Dan Millman. And one of the things that Dan Millman taught was that we have never made a bad decision. That in this human realm, given every thing that we had available to us, every piece of knowledge we had, every piece of situational awareness we had, all of the human skill sets, all of the spiritual awakening we had in that moment, we made the decision that made the most sense to us in that moment. And that hindsight is never 2020. It's always a distortion of a prior choice because we're looking at it with a different lens. And we didn't have that information when we made the choice, right? But it's a built in human paradigm of guilt and shame about how we did it wrong. Right? And I invite you to create a different paradigm for yourself, to understand that every choice you've ever made has simply been that, a choice, and that life really is unfolding on your behalf perfectly. And there's no limit to the choices we get to make, right? You choose, you experience the outcome of that choice, and then you get to choose again. But if we're fixated on the prior choice, then we're not fully present for the choice now. And we carry that thread of limitation into our next choices. And so we have a phrase in 12 step recovery: name it, claim it, and dump it. And it really works, right? Okay, this was the choice I made. This is the outcome I got. I'm letting that go and I'm moving on. And to really let yourself embody that you've never made a bad decision. You've never made one. You've made decisions that turned out to have effects you didn't anticipate and didn't want. That doesn't make your choice bad or wrong. So, with that, um, yeah, conditions are the reflections of our meditations and nothing else. What that tells us is that our beliefs are being mirrored right back to us. There's a reason, beloveds, that we call them hidden beliefs, because sometimes we're unaware of them. If we are willing to wrap our heads around everything we're experiencing in life is the reflection of our meditations and nothing else, the reflection of our beliefs, nothing else. To stop pointing the finger and own that, oh, I had no idea I believed this. Then we can do the work of changing our thinking and changing our lives. In the truth of one wholeness, every time an individualized expression of the whole changes their thinking and changes their lives, it changes something in the whole. It's like adding salt to a pot of soup. You can't add salt in one place and it not flavor the whole soup, right? And so know that every time we, as individualized expressions of one thing, up level, we up level the whole. That, beloveds, is a beautiful thing. So let's take that into our meditation and contemplation. We'll close this out with a spiritual mind treatment. Here we go. So breathing into this moment, into this precious now, into this one consciousness, one mind, one substance, each name synonymous with the other. This one nameless, changeless substance. Nameless because it cannot be limited by a single concept. Changeless because there's nothing for it to change into. It already is everything and infinite possibility. It is the expressed and the yet to be expressed. It is the visible and the invisible, known and the yet to be known. We know it by many, many names. Life. Life is the name that is alive in me right now. One life, one breath. This one substance animating itself as life, expressing itself in exquisite diversity, individualized multiplicity, no two versions alike. And I am that in form. I am a representation of it, here to express the very makeup of me. The divine plan is me, individualized. So I recognize the divine plan for me is me. To be authentically me. Not the me that someone else imagines, but the me that comes from that still small voice at the center of my being, that comes from the very substance of which I am made, the desire to express this individualized version of creation itself. I am that. And what is true of me is true of all creation. Just as we are made in the image and likeness of this one substance, we are unique, one of a kind. So each and every one of us is awakening to the magnificence of our being, to the individualization of how creation has chosen to present itself and to represent itself and to represent itself over and over again. I claim and affirm that we are each awakening to the reality that everywhere we look, everything we see, touch, taste, feel, smell, encounter is this infinite substance expressing, no matter what. There is only one. And so this experience, this journey of life is simply an exploration of one, expanding its experience of itself as. And we are inseparably on this journey together, because that's just how it is. There is no division in one. There can be no separation in one. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming awareness of the wholeness of all creation, of an ownership of the infinite intelligence within us that knows the perfect balance of expression, that knows how to move forward into different expressions without harming anyone or anything. That divine intelligence within us, it knows perfect harmony, it knows the harmonious operation of one, that is a world that works. And we can stop there. It just works. And we are its expression. So I claim and affirm we are awakening to that magnificence. And in awakening to that magnificence, it changes how we show up. It changes how we express, and we express in alignment, in resonance, in balance, in harmony with the source and substance of being. And I am grateful. I am grateful that the word spoken is the word of the infinite, moving the substance of itself into being. I am grateful for the truth of one. And I'm grateful for the triune nature of this one that expresses, that it desires, that aspect that simply acts in a lawful way on every desire to make it so. And the expression of form that is the palpable, recognizable expression of those desires to express in this physical realm. Grateful for it all. Grateful that the word spoken is the word made manifest. There's no hesitation. And so I release all doubt. I release all hesitation. I release all conditioned thinking that tells me that I in any way is a separate anything, need to control anything. And I return to that affirmation that there's only one. So that I am continuously releasing my word by releasing everything that stands in its way. And as I do, I heal. And as I heal, the whole heals. So I move into this day excited, curious, ready to receive the bounty of life, ready to be the bounty of life. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you.